Hello from Yes Queen channel. Thank you very much for watching our video. As you can see, I've cut my hair like several weeks ago, and before I went to hair salon, I asked my goddess, hey, so I'm thinking about going to hair salon, and do you have any suggestions? And she told me that she actually misses my shoulder length hair, and she really liked it. So I was like, okay. So yeah, I've cut my hair this long, and I don't know how many months, very long time. I just wanted to share this episode to show you that I have this soft and adorable side. Yes. Today I would like to answer a question shared from one of the viewer. Thank you very much. So she's Australian, half Japanese, and she told me that she also lives in Australia, and she's thinking about coming out to her relatives, but she's not sure how. So when I got that question, I thought about the question, and I assumed that, the purpose of this question is that because maybe she's not sure about Japanese culture, how her Japanese relative would react to this issue. So of course, everybody has different attitude, different opinion and all, but I am going to try to answer from as a Japanese. And I'm going to answer from two perspectives. And before I start answering, again, I would like to say that always not coming out is an option. If you feel you're anxious or nervous when you think about you coming out, you don't need to do it. Nobody should force you to come out. Not coming out is totally an option, okay? And if you are still thinking about coming out to your Japanese relatives or Japanese friends whatsoever, I would like to share my opinion. So one perspective is the understanding level towards sexual minority could vary, between the area. Big cities are more understanding because they're more diversified, and not just about sexual minority, but big cities are more global, more gender equal usually. So they are more understanding, and they also have the reputation and responsibility, so they're more supportive or protective towards LGBTQI+. For example, in 2018, Tokyo, the capital of Japan, where I live and work, enacted the regulation to protect sexual minority from hate crime, like that. And I live in Tokyo, right? So I've come out to my friends in Tokyo, and I've come out to my companies that I'm in love with a woman. No problem, really. But I'm actually from a countryside, and to share my story, I've already shared in my previous video, but I came out to my family, and my parents and my siblings are so amazing. They're so cool about it, and even when I took my girlfriend to my hometown, they're so accepting and understanding and loving. They're just so amazing. Really, I cannot appreciate them enough. But the thing is that I haven't come out to all of my relatives because A, it's none of their business, and B, I don't want to bother them, and I don't want them to bother me, because I just want to avoid unnecessary conflict. That's all, really. And if I just end the story saying that big cities are more understanding towards sexual minority than countryside, it sounds like I'm too negative towards countryside, right? But no, countryside is so great, amazing. And so to talk about this, I have another example. So in Japan, all over Japan, we cannot get married legally. And when I say we, I mean same-sex couple. Each local government can enact this partnership act, which is that they recognize same-sex couple as a married couple, but of course it does not provide the same right that straight married couple receive. No. But actually still it's something, right? And so many local governments, including my hometown, they've started enacting this partnership act, which means that even like local cities are becoming more understanding and supportive towards LGBTQI+. So that's something positive. So my advice for this area matter is that you can search where your relative lives, right? You can do Google research and see if their local governments are supportive towards LGBTQI+. And what I'm trying to say here is that because if the local governments are positive, every time when one city enacts the same partnership act, it becomes like a national news. So of course, like your relative would be like, oh, okay, it's becoming more like popular thing, or it's more like an accepted thing, and LGBTQ+ people exist in our community. Cool, So that's why I think checking or Googling about the local community that your relative or your friends live could be one of the clue. However, please note that even if the local community is accepting or supportive, it doesn't necessarily mean that your relatives or friends are also accepting. And vice versa, even if the local governments are not supportive, your relatives or friends can still be supportive or accepting towards LGBTQ+. Okay, so that's that. And another perspective is our generation. So I assume that younger generations are more open-minded compared to mature generations, and it's not really individual thing, but it's more like because we didn't have regulation to protect sexual minorities. As I've already mentioned earlier, it was 2018, it was like only 2 years ago, when the capital of Japan, Tokyo, has enacted this regulation to protect sexual minority from hate crime. Only 2 years ago, right? And it's very recent, like the Partnership Act is also very recent. So, just thinking about this situation, it's easy to assume that it was much harder for mature generation to come out that they are LGBTQI+. So, in Japan, LGBTQI+ is not they're not really discriminated. Yeah, of course, like they're bullies and all, but it's more like we were non-existent. So it was very difficult for more difficult for mature generations to assume that we exist and we need equal rights and so on. But now, we have this regulation to protect us and regulations to accept us, so it's easier for us to come out. So young generations, they have more LGBTQ+ people around them because we can come out openly and safely. So younger generations tend to have more people around them, like, oh, my friend is my friend is lesbian, my friend is gay, I like that. So it's like a very natural thing for younger generations, so they're more understanding. So what I'm trying to say here is that if you think about coming out to your relatives, you can start coming out to your relatives who are closer to your age. So maybe you could try your cousins or someone closer to your age, right? So these are my advices. I hope it helped. If you have more questions, please share. And if you have any other questions, you're welcome. And I know that there are so many more questions that I haven't answered. I will answer them, so please wait. And if you all viewers have any other questions, please share on the comments, and I'll take that into account and I'll prepare my answer. So, and I'm also gonna share my previous video, which is the one I talked about my coming out story to my family. So please check the comment as well. So thank you very much and see you very soon. Bye.